like you said,
Me personally, right? I don't see how you can hear that as a black person and not feel insulted.
well, you said it. How you hear it without being insulted? It's like, come on now. What are you, a dog? Your tail wag? You know, do you get treats, greenies, kibble, begging bitch? You know, here, roll over. Let me scratch your tummy behind the ears, you know, and you wag your tail and you can't really understand what's being said, but the dog whistles get blown. What's wrong? I mean, it strikes me that black folk need to stop acting so damn colored and Negro-ish. What is going on here?
And here's the crazy thing. People not realizing that Barack Obama talking to black men that they have to vote for Kamala because she's black, that continues racism. That's racist. Okay? It just doesn't cross people's mind. Like how could we ever get rid of this racism when we're voting based on identity politics? All right? Whether someone's a woman, whether they're black, whether they're white. How about somebody that's right for the job? All right. I mean, I just left the grocery store today.
Get some pride. You know, you're being talked down to. You're being insulted. Somebody's sitting there, you know, did you hear what I said about him? You know, like, yeah, damn fool didn't even get it. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but how you feel about Trump appearance at the convention in Chicago? You seen that convention they had for black journalists?
He nailed it.
He nailed it. Nah.
And then remember when the idiot that was interviewing him, how can you call her a DEI hire? Well, all over X, within a few hours, they were playing the old tapes of Biden saying, we have to be progressive and these things of diversity, equity, and inclusion demand that I bring in somebody like Kamala Harris to be my vice president. Hell, he said it.
Right.
When he announced the order. So what's wrong with him saying DEI? How can you say?
That's exactly what it was. He said he was going to, I'm glad I let him go and he was going to get to it because I didn't know if he was going to say that, but he said he was going to hire a black woman. And here's another thing. I don't even know if I should say this. She doesn't have any lineage to this country. Okay. Meaning that, like, she's not foundationally from here, you know, and if someone's qualified and at least have a family of your own, you know, that's going to deal with the consequences of you being a president. I just feel comfortable that people who have kids, their own kids here, that you know, that's basic. I don't mean that in an offensive way. I'm just saying that that's what, when I vote for a president, I want someone who has stake in the game. I mean, so the decisions you make, you know, you're going to care about what happens because your kids have to live in this world. Not to mention she's not from here, you know.
That. And when he said the rest of it, he was square on point. He wasn't lying. And you look like a fool when you start trying to jump somebody because you go for your propaganda, but you're supposed to be what? A news reporter?
I mean, she's from here, but she's not foundationally from here, if that makes sense.
And you don't have anything better than that in your knowledge of what's going on, and the facts are so, you know, I guess they have little bird wings or butterfly wings, and they fly off, and you can't pluck them out of the air, so you look like a fool. Trump, I thought, handled himself pretty well in there. I liked it. I laughed.
I mean, he did. I mean, I think he did, but I knew most of the public would lean into her emotionalism and lean into the emotional side, and they did a great job of making him look really, really bad when it was 3 against 1. You know what I mean? And I posted this. You know, a lot of my subscribers got mad at me, but I'm like, it was 3 against 1, and the questions were all, and he was fact checked. I noticed all of this before all of the, you know, everybody started making reactions about it like right away. I'm like, this was real. It was really, really obvious. And another issue I have is she won't sit down with anyone that she doesn't agree with. Trump will sit down with anyone. All right. I'd rather deal with the devil I know.
Yeah, it's like, big dummy, don't you realize you got embarrassed and you have no shame to realize it? It's crazy.
What you think about them giving Trump pushback for his comments? Him saying that, you know, Kamala, she wasn't claiming her black side until a couple of years ago.
Let's put it this way. I probably have more black credentials than anybody that was on that damn thing, and I'd do the same thing that Trump did. Like, wait a minute, man, this dude, this like whatever she is, she's sitting there claiming, I've been listening to her for 20-some years. I was in California. She was claiming fame to be an Indian. Now, all of a sudden, she's black. She ain't never been mentioning no Indian except get us some D from... You know, I guess she was getting her DNA dose from Willie and Montel, you know, but I mean, you know, it is what it is. You got to get your flow going, but...
He went there.
What are you? See.
So you knowing Kamala before people knew who she was, and you don't recall her ever pushing her black side, ever?
No. What black side? I mean, what black side? I find it disingenuous. You get all of these apologists who talking about, yes, she has slaveholders in her background, but it was probably because one of her black ancestors, a woman, got raped. No, that is not what happened in this case. It is directly on the white side, coming straight down, and as her daddy says often, he's Irish and he is Indian.
That's what I read. That her dad is Irish and Indian, and you know, her mother's white, and between all of that, they're born in Jamaica, so they're basically saying they're Jamaican, and people automatically assume they're black.
So, where do you get it? Now, last I checked, I got the rule: you get somebody that's black, and they're mixed with somebody French. Are they French or are they black? Black.
Right.
Yeah. You get somebody black mixed with somebody from China. Are they Chinese? No, they're black.
Ooh. Cooking.
If you get somebody black mixed with somebody German, what do they call them in this country? Black.
Oh, the blacks.
Okay. The white folk don't even say, oh, that's another German or that's another Irish person, you know. They're black.
Right.
Now, when the Indians call you Indian and have celebrating festivals saying the first one of us to become so-and-so, you know, that kind of makes the case right there. Because even then, they would be calling you, guess what, if you had that in you. They are not going to adopt you. Nobody wants to adopt us.
Right.
Except this one new thing. There's a new ethnic group you can adopt. It's just instead of black, it's rainbow. But
oh my goodness. I didn't know this was going to be in here. I don't want to get demonetized.
I mean, they're looking for new recruits.
Oh, man.
But, yeah, you know, I think that's the rule. So
that was a joke, by the way.
The thing that gets me is black, white, brown, red, yellow. It doesn't make any difference. Catholic, Episcopalian, Baptist,
Pentecostal,
Methodist, Hindu, Buddhist, Islamic, Jewish, it doesn't make any difference. This woman has absolutely no connection with American history. People were accusing her of being an anchor baby. She is not an anchor baby.
Okay. I only saw 30 seconds of this. All right. So he's saying exactly what I was saying on day one. All right. On day one of this. And, you know, that's just blows my mind how. Let's keep it going.
She is the new migrant herself. Now, there are stories around about whether she spent some time in America or whether she spent most of it in Canada, but I know the yearbook she put out says K through 12 up there. And irrespective of that, the bottom line is she's part of the British Commonwealth because that's India, Pakistan, that is... used to be Hong Kong, Singapore, it used to be Australia, New Zealand, Fiji Island stuff, Kenya, Nigeria, South Africa.
And what's up with all of these assassination attempts? I mean, today that I'm recording this, well, it's like 3 in the morning, maybe. This is like the third one. And the last time I checked, a lot of people who get assassinated were people they write stories about. And it's typically positive.
You name it. You don't need an extra passport. You just
Political leaders
go in there. So her connection is with the British Empire, the English Commonwealth, the UK, and she has no connection, no ancestors, not one of any race, any ethnicity with a connection to the United States of America.
And another reason why I like Trump is because he is patriotic. Okay, I get that America has its issues, but it's still our home at the end of the day. All right, where else are we going to go? So you need to be patriotic and love your home regardless of its issues. And if I can say it, then anybody can say it, because I can't go through my childhood and my experience in America as far as how I grew up as a black man. But I still love being an American. I don't want to go anywhere else. So I'm patriotic. I love that he's patriotic. Not all of that, we're not going to go back and we're going to change this and no.
And I'm sorry, that's too much a newbie. You're just coming in and quiet as kept. You're not watching your step. You're trying to sneak. And that is not righteous to me. All of the black folk, brown folk, yellow folk, red folk, white folk that have died setting this country up to get where it is, for her to come in, sneak in and be, you know, into the mix on a loophole and become chief executive of the United States just smells to high heavens to me.
Loophole. Wow. He said it in one word. All right. Loophole.
And what is the loophole? Well, technically, if you are born on American soil, and it appears she was in San Francisco, the Bay Area, whatever you may call it, and you live here 14 years, you're eligible to run for president. Now, that's all well and good, but it's not like her parents were trying to migrate here. They just had academic visas for a limited period of time. They were going to school in the Bay Area. This is 1964, 63, and she got conceived, and she got dropped off and quickly taken away. Her sister was born in 1967. She was born in 1964. My ex-wife was born in the same hospital. My late former mother-in-law worked as a pediatrics nurse in that same hospital, and she just happened to be dropped off on a technicality. So now, years later, she's running for United States president. That is in the 335-year history of the 235-year history of the United States of America, from the point where the Constitution was ratified in 1789 to now. That is the least connected any candidate has been with the United States of America when it comes to ancestors. And then we don't have her having won one single primary, not one.
Right.
And we don't even have her selected at an open convention. What in the devil's going on?
I mean, this is so obvious. And the amount of people that can't see this just blows my mind. I don't have any hate for anyone, regardless of who you vote for. I don't dislike people if they're a Democrat. I think that politics do separate people, but I love sitting down and talking to people that I don't disagree with, because I know how to communicate. And a lot of people either are just like blinded by their hatred for Trump, where they can't see these things about her, or just so loyal to their party. I don't understand this, but I think that this is like a really, really, I know they say it's the biggest election every time, but it really feels like this is the one.
Something is not right about this picture.
Even if I wanted to play this thinking she's a qualified candidate game, why won't she sit down with anyone that doesn't agree with her instead of sitting down with echo chambers, going to see Charlemagne the God and going on all these different networks that are pretty much, it seems like, run by the Democrats. Okay. Now, I'm not a Republican or Democrat. I am a independent. All right. I will vote for what I think is best for the country and my family, you know. So that's how I see it. I think it's silly to be dedicated to one party, but that's just my opinion. You may disagree, but that's the way my mind works at this point. I think that Judge Joe Brown, he nailed it, you know. So I thank you guys for watching. Hope you have a great day. Peace.